Well, hey, on today's show, we're going to talk about getting into running and the education behind it. Come on, welcome to the show, Marcos Viduarre. Well, hey, I want to share with you something that I am really loving, and that is Runner's Fix coaching. If you're into running, maybe you're starting to get into running a little bit, or you've been running for a while and want to take it to the next level, can I suggest going to runnersfixcoaching.com. It's led by John Mott, who's been on our show before, but this is going to be a way for you to get some more detailed running and accountability to help you achieve those goals. Through things like constant feedback, a structured schedule, and expert knowledge, John Mott and his team are going to help you take the next level in your running game. So go to runnersfixcoaching.com. Again, that's runnersfixcoaching.com to check it out today. Awesome. Well, we're live. Marcos, thanks for being on the show, dude.
Yeah, of course.
I was looking forward to this today.
Yeah, same.
I always love when we chat, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you been?
This is really good. Really great. Just been working, being a dad, running.
All the good things.
All the good things, the great things.
Yeah, man. How old is your daughter now?
She is 15 months. You know, when I was not a parent, when people would say 15 months, I'm like, come on, get a grip. Just say
Round
a year.
that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that I'm a parent, it makes a difference. But yeah, a year and like 3-4 months around
You get
there.
like so specific.
Yeah.
I think you stopped doing that after 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
think that's
what
when
I
you do
hear.
it,
Yeah.
Because Elliot, my youngest, is like almost 2. And I'm like,
Right.
we keep saying 22, 23 months. I'm like, I am at the point where I just tell people that he's 2.
Yeah.
It kind of gets confusing.
Yeah, that's like 2
you know?
by that point.
Yeah, you're pretty
Almost
much 2.
2.
Yeah. We're going to round you up.
So she's newly 1.
Newly 1.
There you go.
Yeah. That's awesome though, dude. She's so cute.
Yeah, she's the best. I agree.
Do you ever, I know we're going to talk about running.
Mm-hmm.
You've influenced me too. I've been getting into running lately, and I see like our whole community's kind of getting out there and doing it. So do you ever run with her, or do you have a jogging stroller?
I actually just got a jogging stroller.
Okay.
It's a Bob one. Shout out Bob. But I found one. Actually, my wife found one. I've been looking for one on Facebook Market. And anyways, it's like my favorite one. One of my good friends who I run with all the time, he has one. And so I've been wanting one. So we just got one actually for free.
Who's that?
From one of my...
That runs with him?
Sam.
Sam Paulson? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, my barber and good friend, running buddy. And so yeah, I've run with him and his daughter while he's been pushing her, but I've actually never taken Maeve, who's my daughter, on a run with me. I've done one that was like a run walk a long time ago, like before she was 1, on like our normal stroller, and I was just too scared that the wheels were going to pop off and she was going to go flying.
Yeah, it's not built for that,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
But I just got it. I just had to replace the wheels. So I'm actually really looking forward, because some of them are like flat. So I just have to just get some new ones. But I'm really looking forward to getting the new wheels and then going on my first run with her.
See how she does.
Yeah, to see how she does. And if she loves it, it's going to be an adventure for the rest of our life.
Yeah, she's probably at the, dude, there she goes. She gets her own run TikTok.
That's
you
it.
know?
Yeah. I can't wait to post that one. That one's going to be a real
Oh, that
run
one's going to
talk.
boom.
Yeah, I know.
She's what you've been missing. Dude.
Yes.
Dude, yeah, I feel like she's at the ripe age too, where she's going to be great for it. I took the boys recently on, I borrowed a friend of ours double stroller, because I just have a single one.
Right.
And I took the boys for a run, and my boys are great. The one thing though is they are at the age where like they could just fight about anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they're
imagine.
just sitting and bored for too long, one of them's going to smack the other and then fight over it. Dude, I got like, there's 2 parts to the story. One, I only got like not even a mile before I just was like, you know what? I give up. Like we're just going to go home and turn around. But also, dude, it's like pushing a sled.
Yeah.
Like it's,
That's what I've heard. You know, I haven't, like I said, I haven't done it a lot, but I've tried it a little bit, and that's what I'm excited for too. Is to like go on small runs with her, like 3-4 miles, but then if she likes it, go on like, a 10 miler or 12 miler with her, and see,
definitely
like,
a good workout.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just see, bring some snacks for her and see if she likes it. If she naps,
Lightweight snacks, airy snacks, like the puffs, things like that.
Yeah. She'll demolish puffs, dude. She goes in on the puffs.
Eat.
Yes.
Yeah. That is no doubt, man. Like our boys, I packed like 3 or 4 different snacks on that one little run, because I was like, I just wanted to be ready to like throw a cup like this,
That's
that,
how
whatever.
It is. That's how I am too.
I wasn't prepared enough though, dude. But dude, you've obviously been getting into running a lot. We want to talk about like that whole experience for you too, creating the run talk, the run stories.
Yeah.
I love watching those, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I feel like I don't know how you so seamlessly hold a camera while you're running and like make it still like stable.
Yeah.
I try to do that, take a picture of myself while running, and it's just this blurry mess.
Yeah.
When did you first? I know, like I remember kind of back years ago, we'd run occasionally for like being a part of the program that we're in and all that. But was that when running started for you, or have you just kind of always been athletic, or what?
Well, I would like to think so. Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
But it's going to get dramatic. But I think I've been running. It's been part of my life since I can remember. My dad, it starts with obviously, as a child, my dad was a superstar soccer player in the country he grew up in, which is Nicaragua. And he was on magazines there. And
no way.
Yeah. Like we have him hung up in the house.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was like a superstar soccer player there. And
like, when you say superstar, was he like on like a pro team and all that?
Well, he actually tried out for the national team and then got injured.
Oh, bummer.
In that process.
That's still crazy though.
Yeah. And so he was, but I mean, there's levels to it because the Nicaragua national soccer team is not that great. I'm praying that they get better.
Sure.
But they're just not that great right now. They can't even qualify for a World Cup. We were almost there last time, so we'll see how it goes this time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he was a great soccer player. So, I mean, growing up, I grew up playing soccer. And my whole, my little brother does right now. He's like the real Messi. He's really advancing and becoming a really good soccer player. But anyways, I grew up playing soccer, so running was always a part of soccer.
Yeah.
And it was used as a form of punishment a lot of the times, in a lot of different sports, in basketball and soccer, anything like.
Don't do well, run a mile. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Or you run a lap or whatever. And so for me, it was always like weird when I first started to notice it, that my teammates would be like, this guy's crazy, because whenever our coach would be like, okay, we have to do something running for a punishment, I'd be, oh yes, like I would just love it, because I'm just I'm in my head so much. So when I run, and we can talk about this more, but when I run, it literally feels like a minute. Like I can be out there for 2 hours and it'll feel like 2 minutes, unless I'm like sick or like really in pain from something else. But usually running, as soon as I start, I go into like a different world. I don't even feel the time pass. Honestly.
Do you feel like you just kind of like you space, like you just kind of black out? You're just like
out
in
there.
the moment.
Yeah. Not even. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I mean, I think about everything. I mean, the universe, why we're here. I mean, everything, literally everything. And so by the time I'm like, okay, let me actually think about my life, like what's for dinner, all this stuff. Then I go down that rabbit hole. That's a mile. Yeah. So then it's like, okay, then I start thinking about one or something. So I mean, to answer the question, I think I've been running since I was a kid. Probably noticed that I loved it when I was like 10, 12 years old, around there, 10, 11, 12. And then it didn't actually become a thing until 2020, when COVID was a thing and the gyms were all closed down. At the time, at the time I was doing CrossFit a lot. Yeah. And that was all closed at the time. So then I was like, you know what? I remember the first time I was like, I'm just going to go out for a run outside, because nobody can that was at the time where like
can stop you.
The officers were out on the streets. Like, if you were gathering with like 2 or 3 people, they'd be like, hey, this can't happen. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I don't think anybody can stop me just running out on the street. And that was the first time where I was like, this is actually going to really help me.
I don't think they actually did that. Like, I don't know if they really stopped people here, but I do remember.
Oh, they stopped me here.
They did stop you?
Yes.
And told you to go home?
I was home. And I was outside. But I was outside with like 4 or 5 different people.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And it was like a gathering, and some neighbors called and they were like, hey, there's some people like meeting out there. And obviously, I respect it.
Crazy time. Yeah, nobody knew what to do.
Nobody knew what to do.
I just remember there was a park near the house that we lived in at the time, and I walked down there with my dog, and like it felt like apocalyptic, because they had sectioned off the whole park with like yellow tape, like the yellow police tape. And I was like, I'm just gonna walk down there. Like, I need to get out of the house, and I know my dog does. I want to walk down there and walk around the park. No one's going to be there. And I remember like walking under the police tape and getting a little bit, and then seeing a cop car on the other side of the park. And I just like booked it. It was just like natural instinct. I was like, shoot, I'm going to get in trouble. I got to get out of here.
Yeah. It was crazy times.
Dude, crazy times. Yeah. But to your point though, I get what you're saying. Like, the running's unique because, like with any other sport, it's like the act of what you're doing can probably take up a lot of your mental. Like if you're playing a sport, you're thinking about, okay, like what's my next move? Like chess, like, you know, I mean, not saying chess, but like, it's like a chess piece. It's like, okay, I need to move here when this happens. So you're really just thinking about the game. Where like running, it's like, I know I'm just going to be moving my legs for this amount of time or this amount of distance that I've set myself up for. And I can just kind of relax. And like be in my own world. Is that what it feels like for you? Or
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's where, you know, there's two sides of the coin. I've heard people struggle a lot with running because they almost get trapped. Like, this is the only thing I can do right now. Like, you're saying all I can do is just put one foot in front of the other, and like I just have to sweat and like grind it out. And then this feels horrible, and they get like anxious and like, you know, they're like, this is horrible. You know, I don't want to do this for not even 1 or 2 miles. But for me, you know, and that's where I really try to. I think one of my favorite runners, his name's Iliad Kipchoge. He's like the best marathoner ever. He has this thing where he says a running world is a happy world. So like I really took that on. Like I feel like if everyone ran and got to the point where they started to see the benefits of it, that they would all love it as much as I do. Because once you get to the point where you can run 1, 2, 3 miles, and again, it doesn't all have to be a sprint, because everyone, I think, or most people, when they first start running, think I just need to start sprinting, and like that sucks. You know what I mean? Like if I sprinted every time, that would suck. But you don't have to do that. You can just run, walk, you can jog, you can just be out in nature and outside and
it's
breathing. True. And once you get to the point where you can kind of relax, and like you said, you're just putting one foot in front of the other, you're running, but your mind just starts drifting because you're like, okay, I'm exercising, but I don't really feel like I'm in pain or tortured or anything like that. It's just, you know, something to do and relax.
Well, dude, I don't think anybody necessarily, like, even to the root of it, even people that like running, like this morning, I woke up pretty early to go for the run that I was scheduled for. And I'm like, I don't necessarily want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of first feeling that you feel is like, oh, I could not do this right now and just sit and just relax and not do this 4 miles or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's also that thing at the other end of it where you're like, the feeling of being able to, like, I accomplished this, you know? I had this funny moment, and I feel like this is going to feel cheesy or like over spiritualized or whatever, but I did my first, I am not like a great runner by any means. Like, I'm just starting to get into it and trying to push myself. But I was like, I really want to do a double-digit run. Like, I know I can do this. And I did the first one this past weekend. I did like a 10 mile. And literally my first thought when I was done, I was like, wow, like, dude, like, thank you, God, like that I can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some people just don't have the ability or, you know, the place to get to that kind of point where you just ran for 10 miles, an hour and 45 or however long it took me.
Right.
And can you imagine it was like 3 hours of just like, you know, but yeah, I just was like, man, it's cool to, like, you get to the end of it and you're like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you only feel that if you like actually put one foot in front of the other
absolutely
and go for it. You know?
Yeah. I used to think people were scammers when they said, like, you know, they would do a certain hard thing and they would always say, like, you know, I've never done that hard thing and regretted it after. I used to think like, okay, like whatever, you're just trying to sell me on something. But I genuinely have never ever ran and been like, I regret running.
Yeah,
never.
100%.
Not even like one run have I ever gone, I regret doing that. There's been probably some times where I'm like, I regret the time I went out because
middle of the day.
Yeah, or like, you know, I messed up the schedule for other people, like my family or whatever. It just wasn't, or it was just way too hot. But I've never regretted a run.
Yeah, especially when you get back to it. I do think there's a reality, and we can get into this, maybe how this has impacted you, but like whether it's running or working out, CrossFit, whatever you do, is like there's something about it. It's cool because this is a lot of, I just finished a book that you recommended to me. Endure, right?
Yes,
by Cameron
right,
Haynes,
Cameron
which was so good, dude. I finished it in like 3 or 4 runs. But the thought of like, yeah, you don't need to be a like great runner or athlete or whatever to do, like, for his instance was like a great bow hunter or like a great business person or husband or whatever. But like there's an aspect to the mental fortitude that it builds within you that does improve a lot of areas of your life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Where it's like, if I can build myself in this area, it helps me also like I can conquer this in my mind. There's a phrase that I almost just want to use that's like a part of that book that Joe Rogan talks about, but I'll save because it's a family podcast. But like, if I can conquer this inner, then like I can conquer like later on when I don't feel like cleaning up you know,
Yes.
the dishes
Yes.
or like going through like the tantrum that my kid may be going through,
Yeah.
whatever. Do you feel like for you, is running impacted like a lot of other areas of your life?
Oh yeah, definitely. And especially recently, probably in the last 2 years, I've been on the kick of trying to do a run streak. So for the
Yeah.
longest time, I didn't do 7 days straight. I would be on a training plan, or like we've talked about this before. He's also been on the pod. Shout out, Coach John Mott.
The man.
But the man. I use him for coaching, and I've been a client of his for like 3-4 years now, and done several blocks with him.
Yeah.
And I've always done the trainings where he'll usually have 1 or 2 days off. So I've never really done 7 days straight. So for like the last 2 years, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to do 7 days just straight, and the training. And it was hard because you have hard training days or whatever. And then I got the 7, but it took me way longer than I wanted. To
Are you still
admit.
doing that 7 days straight?
Yeah. Well, now I'm trying to do 365 days straight. So I started
Dang.
the year with 86 days straight.
Yeah.
And then I got really, really sick, and I was like, I
it's
knew
a
this was
bummer.
going to happen. And I was like, I need to go, but I just didn't. And so I missed a day. And then I was like, since I missed a day, I'm just going to take 7 days and just recover, because I've been running for the last 86.
It already happened. So I'm just going to,
Yeah. So, but now I'm back on, I'm on like 31 days now.
So you're going to start 365 from here?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
April 5th. It was my start day again. So, it's been, 31 days now. And so now, I mean, to answer the question, it's really been something that now doing it every day, it's also driving me to do things every day in my life, personal life.
Yeah.
Even to as small as like you're saying, I want to, and I'm serious, my wife can vouch for this. I have a huge goal list for 2025 of
That's good.
things that I want to do, the person I want to become. And one of them is I want to have no dishes in the sink for 21 days straight, like when I go to bed, like just no dishes in the sink. And so even stuff like that, like running every day, there's obviously going to be days that I've had those days where I'm like, I do not want to run like whatsoever. Like no part of me wants to run right now.
Yeah.
But I just put on my shoes and you just start. Like seriously, I just trick myself. I've always used this, but if you've seen the movie Happy Feet, there's a part in Happy Feet where one of the penguins, Ramon, they all go down this little slope. And he gets scared of the heights, and he's like, okay, I just have to trick myself. Okay, what's that? What? And then he jumps off the cliff.
That's what you do.
That's literally what I do sometimes. I put on my shoes, and I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to think. Just start. Just boom.
Yeah.
Not even like, I don't want to do this. My head hurts. It's too
Before
late,
you start
it's too
thinking,
early.
you just go.
Yeah, just start. Just no stretch, no warm up. Just boom. Just start. And then I'm serious. Like a mile in, I'm loving it. I'm loving life. I'm glad I'm out
Maybe
there.
I need to start doing that. There have definitely been times where I sit for a little while, like I'll get up just because I always wake up so early. I'll get up early to do it, and I'm sitting there at like 4:30 or 4:45 in the morning, and I'm like, do I have to? You know, if I give myself too long to contemplate.
Yeah.
But I usually get out there. But yeah, it is, to your point too, it is, I love that about like what you said. I think that's a really smart thing. Like having like actually like written attainable goals for yourself that aren't even necessarily like, like massive, like 21 days of like no dishes in the sink isn't necessarily like the craziest thing.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have that written down. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that want to get better, do better, be better, whatever is the case, and just never take the time to think about the steps to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm too busy. I'm too doing this, whatever. It's like, are you though?
Yeah.
Like how often are you like maybe spending time scrolling or like, you know?
Yeah, it takes up a lot of time.
100%.
Yeah, that all started with me. Actually, it's a funny story because I had trouble. Nobody judge now if you're listening. I had trouble brushing my teeth at night. Okay, in the morning I was a beast. Yeah, but at night there would be some. This is back in college.
Okay, yeah.
There's some days where I just would get way too tired. Yeah, I'm free. I would get way too tired from the day, and I would just be like, it's fine. Like my teeth won't fall out.
I'm not seeing anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not seeing anybody. And so then what I started to do, because I hated that, I did a 21 days straight of brushing my teeth. That was my first challenge at night.
Yeah.
And then I remember taking a picture of myself on the 21st day, like brushing my
so
teeth.
proud of yourself.
Okay, like it's a habit now. And I think ever since then, something clicked in my head, like anything I want to attain, I could just write it down and I can just focus on that one thing. And I think the small things lead to the big things in life. Like, you know, the no dishes, the brushing your teeth, the running every day. will, not to get too dramatic, but lead to me being, present for my daughter, my wife every single day, being healthy, being there, being the best that I can be every single day.
Yeah, 100%, man. It is crazy how connected so much of that is. Like, even as some people may think about it, it's like, oh, it's not that serious, like being a runner, whatever, like, or just like doing something like pushing yourself to brush your teeth or like to do the dishes or whatever. It's like, no, man, there's so much of that there's connected in many ways. It's like, one, if you can push yourself to like get the dishes done, then you're probably going to be a little bit more likely to like do like all the tasks that you have at work, and like and then in return, that's helping you provide better and have more opportunity to like provide for your family, you know? There's that too. And then also when you become like a parent, it's like, what's the role model that I'm setting for my kids? Dude, I think about that all the time, where I'm like, the natural me, and I'm not great at this, but like wants to like, I still have that mentality. Sometimes I can be like, treat like my house like my dorm. And it's you just leave my clothes here. I'm going to get them at some point, or whatever. And it's like, oh no, my boys are watching this and saying like, oh, what does a man do? That's a huge question.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But it is cool to see, man. What kind of got you inspired to do the, like the fun part of it, like the run talk and all that kind of stuff? Is that just like accountability or?
Yeah, that's part of it. It's actually pretty recent that I actually decided hardcore, like I'm going to put a pin in this. I'm going to put it up on, a dream board or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like I said, running's been a part of my life for a long time. And so it's nothing new to me. And then I started to see probably in the last 4 years, since COVID, 4 or 5 years, a lot of the runfluencers come out, like the run talkers and like people just posting like them running and how they got better. And obviously I started coaching about 3 or 4 years ago. And so I started to see myself get better, but I never really wanted to post about it because it was just kind of, I thought of it as a hobby and kind of like my separate thing that like I do to better myself, like physically and mentally. Yeah. But I never really thought that, other people would want to do it because I always thought people hated running and nobody really wanted to do it,
Well, now it's big.
Yeah. And so actually on a recent vacation that I went on with my family, it's funny because, you kind of get away and you kind of get away from the rhythm. You kind of get thinking about your life a little bit more. And I was on a vacation and I think I told my wife, I just randomly was on TikTok and I was like, I like all, like my whole feed, my whole like For You page is like run talkers, runfluencers. And
they know you now.
Yeah. Well, no, I wish.
They've got you. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I would sit there and watch like 5-minute videos on TikTok of like just these guys, like literally I would like finish scrolling. I'm like, I just watched a random guy just run, and I found it entertaining. Yeah. So I was like, I wonder if people would find it entertaining if I did it or if they'd find it helpful or like maybe I should try it. And then I talked to my wife. She was like, I mean, you're already out there, like you're already away from your family. You know what I mean? Why not just try to do something fun and try to do it and try to see if you can help other people and like, try to just tell them what you've learned over the years. Like there's so many things I've learned from it over 3-4 years of like stuff from like how to avoid blisters or when you get blisters, what to do, how to avoid, losing a toenail or when you lose a toenail, what to do, shin splints and like fueling and like, how to like really get over the 10 double digit, like the 10 mile. I remember my first time running 10 miles. I was so scared, like getting to mile 8 and being like, I think my body's going to shut down. You know what I mean? Like, just talking about all that for people that want to get to that point. And
there is so much education to it too. That's cool. Like what I just post like my Strava thing, whatever, at the end of the day, and that's like, it might be fun for me. It's not necessarily helpful for anybody. It maybe it like motivates them to be like, oh, I should go out there for a run.
Yeah, definitely.
But what I think you're doing is cool is like, you're showing people, you're doing a little bit more education behind it. Yeah. Like I think the normal person that isn't really into running wouldn't think about like, oh, it is a normal thing to like fuel yourself while you're running, like bringing on some sort of like snack or like a snack that's actually going to like be good for you to like keep moving forward. Like I didn't think about that until like this 10-mile run. I was like, dude, I'm going to need something. Like, I need something to go. Yeah. And I just grabbed a little applesauce pouch that my kid had and it actually helped out a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is cool, man. Was there a point where you're like, do you see this as being like, is this like a hobby or you think, man, it'd be cool if I could kind of keep going bigger with this or?
Yeah, I definitely want to get as big as I can. I got done with that vacation and just running every day. I remember I had to run a mile in the airport, just in the airport.
I saw that post.
And I remember after that, I just told my wife, like, I think I'm going to go for it. I think I'm just going to post. I'm just going to commit, and maybe not posting every day, but like just posting like every run, just a little bit of content here and there, like maybe something I'm learning, even posting the people that inspire me or that I would recommend to other people to watch that are like further down the road than I am, that are getting more results than I'm getting, that I'm kind of learning from, like also pointing people to those people as well. And then also like, so I think for me, I'm just trying to start it, and I'm committing. I told my wife, I think I'm just going to do a year. I'm just going to do a year of commitment, like no matter what the results are. And obviously if they're great, I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to do a year of like trying to see what kind of impact I can have in my community, in the larger community, and see how far it can take me. I mean, I've seen running take some of my close friends, John, who you've had on the John, who started Off Balance Run Club, which is my favorite run club in Central Florida, who he used to be my roommate. And I know he said this in his pod, but I'm going to also say I got him into running.
Yeah, he wasn't much of a runner.
Yes. I remember the first time I ran 10, 11 miles, I came back home and he was at the house. He was like, "That you're crazy for running that amount of miles."
And now he runs like the biggest
and now
run
he's
club
running all these
there.
marathons and doing this run club. So anyways, I love him. But just to see how many, because I've seen running change his life and how it affected his health. And then that's what he does for work now. I mean, part of it is his work, but the other part of it is, with the company. But yeah, I've just seen it change people's lives and it take people different places. And so, why not me and just try it.
For sure, man. Dude, I love also because you're a friend of mine too, but I do love watching it. And I do think there's the reality of like, it is running, yes, and obviously running's taking off and like the education behind it, but like it's the act of just the discipline, it's like
definitely
finding some kind of good discipline in your life to show that like, hey, your body can do hard things.
Yes.
I think everybody needs to do more of that. Like try to do something difficult. Especially in like, and this could get deep too, but especially in the time that we're getting into where it's like so much is like focused on like being home, screens, doing all that kind of stuff. And not all of it's awful. Like in moderation, almost everything's fine.
Right.
Yeah. But, that could go another way. Like most things in moderation are like good, but to just say like, oh no, I just don't do that. Like that's the hard thing I see for people that I'm like, I think that so much of like the running and discipline too stuff of just like making your body do hard things of like working out, running, like has so much of a tie to like your mental state, the times where like I haven't been working out or doing something active are the times where I feel like I've been the most stressed or like I've noticed like I don't feel like myself. I don't want to like go out and do stuff. But when I am like pushing myself, I feel that like, oh, cool. Like I feel like this extra like sense of some energy, some purpose. Like I want to like be good at what I'm doing, And I think that's what you're providing for people, dude. I think it's cool. You know?
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You're doing
Thanks
great.
for watching,
Yeah. And when are you going to start the run club in Lakeland?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
it just can't be at like midnight,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've thought about it. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe it's in the works.
I think it's cool how like the run club thing is like kind of taken off,
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think's behind all that? Like the just running in general being like, do you think it's post COVID? Just people want to be in community?
I think that's part of it. But it's kind of what you said. It's, it's doing something that not everybody wants to do. And I think especially when it's a good thing, I think it would be the same thing. I don't think this would go pop off, but the way I think about it is like nobody really likes like broccolis and now stay with me here.
I'm following you. Yeah.
Like nobody really likes broccoli, Brussels sprouts, like just veggies, right? But like if you were to get together with a group of people and just market it as like, all right, we're the veggie, like this is a veggie club, like we're all going to be eating vegetables together and making a very healthy meal and eating right.
Yeah.
I think more people would start to do that because it's like,
there's a community aspect to it.
The same as like misery loves company. I think the same thing is like if you're doing a good thing and you're doing it together with something that betters you, they're also not going to want to do it alone. It's really hard to do something good for you because, I mean, we all know this, but like whatever is good for you is usually hard. The harder thing to do, like again, vegetables or like donuts. It's like donuts are easier, vegetables are harder to eat, and so I think
But I get what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
easier to pick up on things when you're in community too.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Like that's why I feel like, I don't know if this is the same for you, but I feel like all of my PRs are when I ran with somebody.
With somebody, yeah.
You know,
exactly.
like my 5K or all that kind of stuff
Right.
is when somebody was running with me, and I was like, I also have a little bit of, I don't know if you have this way, like competitive nature,
Oh, of
where I'm
course.
like, I'm not gonna be the slow guy.
Yeah.
In this crew here.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and it is such a like the mental game is too. Like I remember I was running with a couple guys, and like I'm not that far off in age from them, but I was like giving myself excuses mentally where I'm like, okay, well, you know, he's 3 years younger than me, and it's like flat
Yes,
5 years younger
yes,
than me.
yes.
Maybe I'm the old guy and I can fall back a little bit.
Yes.
But I was like, no, it's just an excuse. Like you
Yes.
keep
Yes.
pushing, you know?
Well, that's the way I am now. Like, now I have a daughter, and sometimes I go, okay, well, maybe I'm not running as much as I did when I didn't have a daughter, or this and that. Like, oh, that person's running more, but they don't have a family, so it's like, how much time, or do they have, like, if I didn't have a daughter, would I be running way more? So sometimes I put those excuses, but I'm like, it's just an excuse. Just get out and run.
Yeah, and you just got to do what you can do, right? Like
Right.
that's the whole piece of it too. Is like, I just talked about this with somebody a couple like recordings ago, but the pro and con, like you're finding yourself in like the social media world, being the TikTok guy and like social media guy now too, is like the pro of it is like you can learn so much from it, you can get educated by it, and I think the con is like there's just so much info, like there's just so much info out there, you know what I mean? And you also are like seeing what everybody's doing, so you're comparing yourself. That's actually a great point that that John Mott like brought up when he was on here. He's like, running is one of those things where it's like you just got to focus on like you, like you can see your buddy or like somebody you admire that's going out there and running 5 miles, and then you go out there and you struggle to do one, and you're gonna be like, well, I suck at this is not for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You ever feel that? Do you have to get out of that in their thing, like comparison game? Or?
Absolutely, almost every day. I'll because like you said, I'm on social media, and so I'm like, oh man, like right now, one of like the biggest races ever is going on. Ultra races is going on right now. It's called Cocodona 250.
I saw that. Yeah, is that the thing that Cameron Haynes is doing too?
Yeah, he's doing that right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's, I think, almost 200 miles in, but it's a 250-mile race. And like, obviously, like I'm seeing all the coverage for this, and I'm like, man, I wish I could do that one day, like, or even just an ultra, like 100-mile ultra, or like, I wish I was doing that right now. But then I always go back to, and this is what I recommend for new runners all the time. I even recommend this to my sister who just started running. It's more about the weekly mileage than it is about the daily mileage or like comparing yourself to other people. Yeah. What helps me, my North Star is always like, what's my weekly mileage? And then I immediately go back to, okay, last week I did 30. So like, this is legit. Last week I did 30. So this week my goal is to try to get up to 32. And that's the only thing that matters to me. You know what I mean? It's
You're
like,
just getting a little bit better.
Right. Yeah.
Every week. Yeah.
And the week before I did 30 as well, but I've been slowly going up, because that's what matters when you're like training, is you're just weekly mileage goes slowly up, especially when you're first starting. Like a John Mott, somebody who's an elite, will go up like 10 miles, 20 miles a week.
Or do 160-mile weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
but he started when he first started at his block. He'll probably start at 40 and then jump to 60, 80, 100, 110, 120, you know. But those are big jumps, and not everybody can do that.
But he's also been chipping away at it for like a while. Like he's
a long time.
He's been doing it for
and that's what works for him and his, you know. And so again, that's that same point, is that's what works for him. He found that works for him, and so whenever he, I'm sure, compares himself to other people, he has to go, okay, what's my goal right now? What's my weekly goal? So that's what helps me, is go, okay, it doesn't matter that I'm not at the ultra marathon. It doesn't matter that I'm not doing 10 miles a day, even though I want to do 10 miles a day, 12 miles a day, just for people to be like, that guy's crazy and awesome. You know what I mean? But for me right now, I'm trying to get to 32 miles. That's and awesome. Whatever I need to do to get there, that's part of what I'll do today.
That's awesome. Yeah. John's actually coming back on the show here in a little bit, like in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to like recap and talk about like the London that he just did.
Yep.
Him and I were talking about it a little bit, and I don't think he'll probably, I'm sure he'll mention it, like he didn't do exactly how he wanted to do at the London, but like we were talking, and I told this to him, but I was thinking, I was like, it's crazy, is like his measure of like, oh man, not exactly where I wanted to be, is like, dude, that's my dream.
That's
like
my dream.
If I could get there and do that time that you just did, that you're not necessarily like super proud of, like that's wild.
Oh, dude, I don't think I'll ever get that. I mean, I think, Yeah, a bad day for him is like I could only
the
dream.
dream for me.
I could only dream.
Which is crazy too, and to do it in, and I don't want to like get too far ahead with his episode, all that stuff, but like the time of day, like there's so many factors that fell into his, with like, you know, it was like late in the morning, which is like hot out, you know. Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah,
but it is cool to see, and this is kind of like bringing it all together, like what you're bringing, what so many people like that have been on this show is like just something like really cool about like the community of Lakeland, you know what I mean, where we live. And obviously this show goes beyond Lakeland. We've had people who don't live here and are from beyond, but like just specifically for like this community is like just another cool thing you're trying to put out there, like more information about running, getting people together, and hopefully you do some sort of, I feel like you're the guy to do it. So maybe maybe it's me gassing you up, but like doing something in the future too. But I love it, man. Dude, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I always do this with 1 more minute left. What are some ways, real quick, roll out the red carpet. How can people find you on the socials? Yeah. And then what's like one piece of encouragement you'd leave with us before we head out?
On the socials, I haven't come up with a cool name, but right now it's just my first and last name, Marcos Viduarre. Yeah, it's just a Marcos. I think on Instagram it's Marcos Vita, so the first 4 of my last name. But you said a quick encouragement for everyone?
Quick encouragement,
quick encouragement would be go for a run today. Go for a run walk.
Just go for it.
Do 1 mile, do 10 miles, do 50 miles. Whatever you want to do overnight. And if you're local and you want to run, let me know. I'll always run with you.
Love it. We'll put out your phone number.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, put it out there. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, of course. It was fun.